South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem never instituted any stay-at-home orders. South Dakota is also home to the first major food processing plant outbreak of the virus that I did an episode about earlier. Well, now the governor is in a row with members of 2 tribes for setting up their own COVID-19 checkpoints to protect their citizens. So South Dakota never issued any stay-at-home orders. But the Oglala Sioux tribe and neighboring Cheyenne River Sioux tribe did. Located here, the Oglala tribe issued their own stay-at-home orders on March 26th. The orders are similar to most around the United States, allowing essential businesses and activities, but stressing the need to shelter in place. The order allows travel into and out of the reservation to perform essential activities, operate essential businesses, or maintain essential governmental functions. But in lieu of the rest of South Dakota not having these provisions, on April 3rd, they set up COVID-19 checkpoints, banning access to non-residents from the reservation. The tribe published a map of the checkpoints on their Facebook page. In issuing the border monitoring ordinance, the tribe stated, "Whereas there is significant travel to, from, and through the Pine Ridge Reservation, with many coming from areas where there is confirmed community spread of the COVID-19 virus, which increases the risk of exposure to the reservation population, and whereas the Tribal Council has determined that it is in the best interest for the health and welfare of the protection of the residents of the Pine Ridge Reservation to adopt this border monitoring health order." The fine for breaking the order is $1,000, and the tribe is using its police officers and authorized private security guards to enforce the rules. Tribal spokesman Chase Iron Eyes gave these additional reasons for the strict measures. Iron Eyes said medical facilities lack masks, respirators, and other supplies. Access to running water is also an issue for some residents who are being urged to wash their hands regularly to protect themselves from the coronavirus. About 40% of residents sometimes struggle to pay water bills and have their water shut off, Iron Eyes said. But the water company is keeping everyone's water on during the viral outbreak. He said about 10% of residents may still not have running water if they live in remote areas that aren't connected to the water system. So on April 8th, the U.S. Department of the Interior, Bureau of Indian Affairs, issued this memo to both tribes. The memo argues the legality of closing roads during an emergency and says in part, question, can tribes temporarily close or restrict access to tribal lands over roads owned by others, such as the Bureau of Indian Affairs, other federal agencies, or state and local governments during the COVID-19 pandemic? Response, yes, but only on behalf of the affected road owner after the tribe has consulted and reached an agreement addressing the parameters of the temporary road closures or restrictions. In response, a spokesperson for the Cheyenne Sioux tribe said in this letter, I received your letter Friday morning, and quite frankly, I'm a little confused. You are making erroneous assumptions based on a lack of correct information. The tribe has not closed any roads. We are simply regulating travelers' entry onto the reservation in an attempt to prevent, reduce, and track the spread of the COVID-19 coronavirus here on the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. I will try to address other concerns from your letter. 1. Consultation with the state of South Dakota. You express concern that the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe has not consulted with the state of South Dakota regarding the COVID-19 health safety checkpoints. The state has indeed been consulted. Governor Kristi Noem and I have had text and voice conversations since the beginning of the COVID-19 public health crisis. In her daily briefings to the public, the Honorable Governor has encouraged and deferred to the authority of local governments to respond to this crisis. 2. Ownership of U.S. Highway 212. You noted that the state of South Dakota owns U.S. Highway 212. I was very surprised to read that. Can you please provide me with proof that they own the highway? To the best of my knowledge, the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe has never agreed to grant the state a right-of-way across our land. I note that it is still our land within our reservation. You say that our tribe will face serious consequences for not consulting with the state of South Dakota or reopening U.S. Highway 212. Can you please clarify what sort of consequences you are referring to? We have not closed the highway, nor have we failed to consult with the state. Well, today, Governor Kristi Noem issued letters to both tribes. The state of South Dakota objects to tribal checkpoints on U.S. and state highways, regardless of whether those checkpoints take into consideration the safety measures recommended by South Dakota Department of Transportation. Safety recommendations do not constitute consultation and certainly do not equal agreement. If the checkpoints are not removed within the next 48 hours, the state will take the necessary legal action. I have not been able to determine who actually owns the roads that pass through the territories, like Highway 212. And I have not been able to find out how many fines, if any, have been issued by checkpoint officers. But as of May 6th, the Oglala tribe is listing no cases on the reservation, showing that in part their strict actions have been successful in protecting the health of their community. On the other hand, the rest of South Dakota announced 126 new cases yesterday, with a total so far of 2,779 and 29 deaths. Now, according to USA Today and Business Insider, tribal communities in general are more at risk, and many tribes have not yet received promised financial aid, tests, or PPE. So what do you think? Do the tribes have the right to protect their citizens by implementing stricter measures than the state at large, especially if they are more at risk? Who has jurisdictions over the roads that pass through their lands? What kind of legal actions will the governor take that might remove those safety precautions the tribes have enacted? And at what cost?